Right, I have been working on some clay projects and I had a whole bunch of leftover scraps. Now these scraps are leather hard, which means they hold its shape. I can hold it up without flopping down, but it is hard enough that it's not as malleable as I would like it to be. Okay. I can still work with it. It's not bone dry, but I'm at that point where I can't do a whole heck of a lot with it. So what I'm going to do is just a quick demo of a project that I do with the early elementary. And they're these cute little owls. Now when they do these owls in the classroom, the clay is plastic, which means it's very soft. It's kind of like Play-Doh, and I can do all kinds of stuff with it. So what I usually do is I have them create a ball and smash it down till it's flat. Now, since I had a bunch of scraps, I just went ahead and cut out a round shape and I put a hole in it. It's hard to see with these, but there are actually little holes in them at the top to hang string or fishing line through. So I went ahead with putting the hole in myself. The eyes on each one of them is a little bit different. They each have a little bit more character to them. I just went ahead and cut out 2 large holes, flat spears, and I am going to score and slip them onto the body of my owl. Now scoring is just adding hatch lines that I can then go in and add slip to. The slip is just liquid clay, but when it gets in the grooves and you firmly but gently press it down, it will actually adhere pretty well. It's kind of like glue for clay. Balls. Now when I make these, I tend to like them to be slightly off center. I don't want the owl face to be too symmetrical, so I have one that's slightly larger than the other one. So now I have two discs on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the pupils, scoring and slipping both sides. Wherever 2 pieces of clay meet up, have to be scored and slipped. They may look like it will stick, but once it gets dry and goes through the kiln, it usually will fall right off. Just going to take my sponge, which is slightly wet, and go around and clean up stuff. We have 2 days. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead, and since Valentine's coming up, I'm going to add a cute little heart to the center. Just do something a little bit different. Scoring and slipping both sides. There we go. Now before I forget, our cute little owl needs to have a beak. So I'm going to put that right nestled between the bottom of the eyes. Score and slip wherever 2 inches or 2 pieces of clay meet. I cut all of these out prior to this because it takes a little time to do it. Okay. So far we have the eyes discs, a little beak, and a cute little heart in the center. Now comes our little wings. Wings, you could have 1 wing, you could have 2 wings, they can have little feathers coming off. It's completely up to you. I am not going to get too extravagant with this one. The clay is getting a little bit harder to work with since it's dried out so much. So I'm just going to add some quick little ridges to the edge. I was working with students. This clay would be way too dry for them to work with. It's at the stage where it's almost breaks off if you apply too much pressure. Light but firm pressure here. Add my score lines for the other wing. slip, which is the liquid clay. Press firmly but gently down. And so far we have a little ornament, eyes for discs, little beak peeking out. And next I am going to add some cute little feet just to the edge. So at the bottom, I'm just going to add hatch lines where the feet are going to meet. This clay was softer. I would probably go in with a tool and add some cute feather details and textures to it. But I don't have the time, and this clay is getting a little on the hard side. So what I'm doing now is just taking a damp sponge, cleaning up any edges. It's important to remember that when working with clay, any edge that is left rough or sharp when it comes out of the firing can become even sharper, especially when you add the glaze to it. Really important to remember that if you're making a mug, when it comes to the rim, you do not want to have your lips touching a mug edge that is super sharp. And there we have it. Cute little owl. I will let this one dry. I'll probably fire it in a couple of weeks with this student work. And you can see past stuff. You have little edge ruffles around the eye discs, which is a real cool feature that I love. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Not least, irises. There we go. Quick project. Takes just a few minutes. You can do this with air dry clay at home. You can use it with the oven baked clay. All right. This is the project that I like to, after it's been cone fired, instead of glazing it, I actually like to go over it with oil pastels and a acrylic wash. Turns out really, really nicely. All right. Thank you. Have a great day.